Hello again, everyone. Looks like Trump has won the election. So, for all you fellow deplorables and irredeemables, looks like Hillary is done. What happened? Well, it's not anything that Trump did. Decided to light up a celebratory cigar. Just in the moment here. You can go to any website. I mean, this is probably all over the internet. James Comey's letter to the 8 chairmen, and he also sent a letter to the 8 ranking members of all these different committees, 4 in the House and 4 in the Senate, and basically said, you know, I know I told you guys, just 3 paragraphs. He said, I know I told you guys that the investigation was concluded into Hillary Clinton's email server and everything. Well, he says, I am writing to supplement my previous testimony. And he says, you know, in connection with an unrelated case, we discovered more emails. And we don't know whether they're significant, what's involved, but he's just giving you a heads up, we're looking into it. And of course, this is like dropping a huge bomb of some sort over Washington, D.C. Because all of Washington, D.C., all the corporate media, Wall Street, Hollywood, everybody is in the tank for Hillary Clinton. And so now they're running around with their hair on fire on what the hell's going on. And, you know, for those of you who just arrived on the Mars shuttle and don't know what happened here, Hillary Clinton has a very close aide. Some people say the relationship is very close, it's intimate, whatever. I won't go there. Huma Abedin. And Huma has been with Clinton for a long, long time. I think ever since she was an intern. And along the way, Huma married a guy named Anthony Weiner from New York, somewhere, Queens, wherever, somewhere there. Staten Island, one of the boroughs. And she's an Arab, he's a Jew. Whatever. When she's off running around with Hillary Clinton, he's up to making mischief. And his favorite thing to do is text obscene messages and pictures and send them to young women. The latest was a girl 15 years old somewhere, South Carolina, somewhere down there. 15-year-old girl. He knew she was 15. And he's sending her dick pics and whatever else he's doing, talking to her, some pretty nasty stuff. Of course, the FBI gets involved. They go, what's going on? Because he's done it before, apologized, done it before, apologized. It destroyed his chance to be the mayor of New York because he kept doing this stuff. The man is sick. He's, you know, something's wrong with his cabeza. So the FBI gets involved and they get his laptop. And, well, they're looking at all the dirty pics and this and that and all this stuff he's saying to this poor girl, this little 15-year-old girl. They discover that Huma Abedin has been using the laptop and a lot of emails. They go, whoa. And here's an article by Tyler Durden today. Tyler Durden on Zero Hedge. And he reports, I haven't had a chance to really read this through, but I just caught the headline and I show it to you. FBI found tens of thousands of emails belonging to Huma Abedin on Weiner's laptop. Tens of thousands. Not good. So, this is completely apart from what the issue with Hillary Clinton's secret server. This is something else entirely. They might be some of the same emails, but who knows what they are. That's why the FBI says we don't know. We're looking into it. But tens of thousands. And, you know, they're going, man. So that's where we are at this point. And, you know, I had been sensing the last few days, I had been sensing that Hillary Clinton's support was gradually fading away, very slowly. This inertia thing. And that always happens in the last couple weeks of an election, or almost always, when the undecided shift towards the insurgent candidate, away from the establishment, the people that are sitting on the fence. And she hasn't been able to generate any excitement, any enthusiasm. I mean, Michael Moore pointed that out. I mentioned in the last couple of videos on Michael Moore. He pointed it out, and a lot of people have. She hasn't been able to drive people to the polls. I mean, what's her thing? She says, well, vote for me because I'm a woman. That's it. And they said, well, what about all these problems? And she said, well, I mean, it's not as nearly as bad as Donald Trump's going, here are these problems. What are you going to do about these? And she says, well, it's not nearly as bad as Donald Trump says. He's a doomsdayer. It's okay. And the problems, they're self-correcting. They'll fix themselves. And besides, we're going to raise taxes and put a bunch of miners out of work. So everything's going to be fine. Don't worry about it. Well, that kind of nonsense doesn't drive people to the polls. And so gradually her support is becoming weaker and weaker and weaker, even as the media is trying to build her up. And this probably only makes it worse. It's probably a backlash, especially when they're dumping on Trump. He's dumping on Trump. And you get a backlash. You get repercussions from all the time piling on somebody like that. The CIA, it's known as blowback. Don't do that because it's going to backfire in your face. So this has been it's just a lot of reasons why Hillary Clinton's support has been eroding very gradually. But this thing here is just nuts. I mean, this is really, all the people that supported her. And what makes it especially poignant is that, like I say, it's not something that some Republican did to Clinton. It's not something Trump did, not some nefarious scheme, not something that WikiLeaks, although they're bringing out more emails, but this is something that Huma Abedin did to Hillary Clinton. And, I mean, I have no great sentiment for Huma Abedin, but, you got to feel sorry for her, just on a basic human level, because now she's basically destroyed Hillary Clinton. And I think what happened, I mean, I don't know, I could be wrong on this, but if somebody, if the cops took me down in the basement and shone a light in my eye and hit me with a rubber hose, I'd probably say, this is probably what happened. What happened? See, people, what I'm going to say is based on this. People don't like to throw stuff away, especially when you hit the delete key on the computer. People really don't like to do that because it's gone. So you want to save it in a file. I mean, I've got stuff from, my first computer was a CPM machine. That was before IBM. And I still have little drives, 5 1/4 drives and stuff from floppy drives stuck away that, I'll never be able to read unless I buy another CPM machine. But I still got them. And I don't know what's on them. Schoolwork from university. But people don't like to throw stuff away. So these 33,000 emails that were on her server, she said she got rid of. She didn't. She got rid of them off that machine, but they're somewhere. And I bet anybody a nickel that they got put in a secure location in the cloud behind some heavy encryption, some firewalls, whatever, however they do that. It's, you got to go through a lot of doors to get there. And that's where those are, because they're too valuable. I mean, they weren't innocuous like, Hillary Clinton says, they're just about yoga and birthday parties and grandkids, whatever. No, if they were, she wouldn't mind the FBI seeing them. But she made great pains to hide them. So because they are valuable, they're somewhere. WikiLeaks might have them, Julian Assange, or Kim.com. The Russians probably have them. I'm sure the NSA has them. The Chinese have them. Maybe even the North Koreans have them. But everybody's got these 33,000 emails. You can be damn sure of that. But they were probably in the cloud, and Huma Abedin sitting there on her husband's laptop, accessing those 33,000 emails, looking for something, doing some kind of research for Hillary. And then she thinks that she can delete her history, and then nobody will know that what she was doing. Well, anybody with half a brain knows that hitting that history doesn't do any good. You know, it's still there. You can find it. And you don't have to be very much of an expert to know where to look on the hard drive to find the history. So, you know, it leaves footprints and fingerprints and whatever else. So I bet that's what happened. I bet she was in it, and that's what the FBI has. You know, they said tens of thousands of emails. And, yeah, 33,000 plus probably a lot more. So, I mean, we shall see. You know, but right now where we're sitting, it looks like, you know, we're going to be saying President Trump a lot for the next 4 years and hopefully 8. And after that, President Pence. You know, Pence is a good man. You know, Pence would do every bit as well as Trump. But we need somebody in there like Trump now to clean up the mess and then hand it over to President Pence, who is, you know, a nice guy. But we need somebody in there that's going to kick some ass and take some names, and what will happen. And those people in Washington, D.C. are just about, you know, they're having, you know, William Safire coined a word, he invented a word called clong, and that's when you have a sudden rush of shit to your heart. It's when your bowels back up into your your left ventricle. You know, that's what happens. When you jump out of a plane with no parachute, you have a clong. You know, all these people in Washington, D.C. right now are having clongs. All the media having these clongs. So, yeah, that's what's going on. So it's looking pretty good, folks. And, you know, we'll see what happens. I'm sure I'll have more to say on this in later videos as more comes out. But until then, thanks for watching, and see you in the next video.